Hey everyone, Lance again, just here to give you an instructional video of how to set up the compact wrap labeler. Okay, take off the label guide rod, take off one grey disc, leaving the other one behind, in a roundabout position, in a straight line of where we're going to put our container. Put that one on, making sure the grey disc is on the edge of the label roll. The grey disc on the outside, do not push it all the way through because it needs to keep the label roll square. Guide rod on loosely, we'll adjust those later. We'll start feeding down over the back of the top roller, over the front of the middle roller, and then the back of the bottom roller. Pulling it across over the label plate. We had the star wheel set up here. I've removed that just for threading so it doesn't get hung up on it. Right, there is a roller under here. It's very important that it goes underneath this roller. So I'll feed that through there and I'll just move across for a moment. Pushing up the end of the label roll, feeding it up here to the peel plate, pulling it through. We removed about 10 labels prior so that they don't start feeding and coming off and getting hung up on the rollers. So we'll pull about 50 centimetres through, or two when we see the edge of our first label, which is about there. Pull about 3 or 4 millimetres through, which is where we want it for the peel plate. Pull the waste roll through, underneath this bottom roller, feeding it through. Over the plate to the back. This is important as well. We have our pinch roller at the back. Let the pinch off. This is our pinch. Push it toward the front of the machine. Feed the label through. Pull the waste through at the front here. Keeping as straight as possible with our label roll here and the label coming back underneath nice and square. Take off our label tong here, feed it back over the top, start pulling it on. As you can see, that will take it up now. At the front of the machine we have 3 or 4 mil of flag. At this point I'll turn the air on. That'll get our top roller out the way. We'll put our container on here to the position where it looks like it is going to be applied. Important to let the thumb screws off on the front roller. We need the container to clear the peel plate by about 5 millimetres. So as you can see there, that's too far. That's dropped it all the way down onto the peel plate, which is no good. That'll stop our container turning. So we just need to clear it by about 5 mil. And that looks like that's the right position there. Square it off and lock it off. To get the position of the container, so it's not, the label is positioned on the container correctly, our infrared sensor here, we can slide this up and down. We'll slide this up to the center of the container. We'll slide this to the base of the container. Excuse me. It looks like that's about the right position, and we'll lock that one off as well. Okay, our star wheel. We'll put this back on our rod. Okay, let's lock the star wheel off onto the rod. The star wheel mechanism needs to be about 10 mil past the label break. Actually, sorry, I'll take this off here. I'll put it around the opposite position. I'll turn it to 180. Feed it back on. Lock it off onto the rod, onto the sliding rod. A few millimetres past there, and I'll lock that off. We know the star wheel mechanism is set correctly if we can hear a click when we lift it about 1 millimetre off the plate, and we can. So all things being good, that should work correctly from there. Our container is square, that's set, locked off. Let's put a little bit of pressure on our label roll. So I'll just lock that off, loosen that off, put a bit of pressure on it. We want that to be firm but not over tight. Put the label brake on, again, firm but not overly tight. Our label guide rings, move them in. Just when you think you're close to it, just stand back, have a look at the label, look that it's feeding nice and square to the machine, that the flag is coming up. We've got about 4 millimeters there, which is ideally what we want. The container looks like it's in the right position. Air is on. Pinch, important, must be on to pull the label through. I'll pull a little bit more there, that's good. Pinch on, machine on. We can see the machine's on. We should have infrared light coming out from the sensor. I'll drop this down and let's give it a run. There you have it. Set up for the compact wrap labeler.